to president on November 2nd, 1999. Those of you that are old enough and remember, we counted ballots, as no law becomes legal for 90 days. Because there was no law in the United States, the bankruptcy, the IRS does not exist for 90 days. The United States government does not exist for 90 days. The United States military, under the Universal Postal Union, was ordered at DEFCON 2 with their finger on the nuke button. We were at 1 minute to midnight for the end of the world. If anybody were to, if China or Russia launched an attack against the United States when we didn't exist, they were going to go to nuclear World War III. That's how close we were to the end of the world. So for 90 days, they had everyone count ballots. Watch the left hand while the right hand took care of business. And on November 2nd, February 2nd, 2000, Bush, with 47% of the vote, was the 45th consecutive left-handed president in the United States. No president has ever been right-handed in the United States since 1775.
What's the significance of that?
Left hand develops the right side of your brain, which is logic. The right-handed people use their left side of their brain, which is emotions. Anytime two of you were to get into an argument, no matter what you are saying to each other, and you are heightened emotionally, I can throw a math problem at you, like 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. In a time it would take you to analyze the answer of that, you would take all your energy from your left brain, transfer it to your right brain, your blood pressure would drop 60 points, your emotional would become stabilized in 3 seconds, and you'll be using the logic side of your brain and stop fighting. So anytime you get upset, do a math problem, completely cancel your emotional upset. How's that for a fix it? Didn't know that about your human brain, did you? Yes.
Aren't the elections on the even years, though?
1999, November 2nd. President doesn't take office until the even year. They're elected on the odd year. It's 2012, yes, but the president doesn't take office until 2013. No, 1999, November 2nd, was the end of the third international bankruptcy. There was no election take place that year. I mean, the election took place, but the president wasn't appointed until the 2nd of February 2000. And Bush was reinstated. This was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton said on November 2nd he would be the last president of the United States of America. On the 2nd of February 2000, the United States of America Corporation took over. The democracy was dead. The Constitution expired.
So what's the law of the land now?
You're a postal employee. You carry postage stamps in your pocket.
So where does the UCC fall in?
UCC is copyrighted by England, has no effect on the United States. If you use copyrighted material from a foreign country on a foreign vessel in dry dock, you're babbling because you don't have a copyright release. Only attorneys and lawyers and judges have a copyright release from England. That's why they joined the bar. If you're not a bar member, you can't practice in a foreign vessel in dry dock. So how do you capture a foreign vessel in dry dock? You don't. You create a court within a court. In other words, when you file a lawsuit with a stamp on it, it's a postage vessel. The postage vessel, when the sentence structure says, this is the document because it came to the dock, received the docket number, and is now a document. Document contract, 2 or more people make contract. There is 2 people, your claimant and a vassalete. Document contract, postal vessel, postage stamp on a piece of paper is vessel. It's federal, so it's a federal court venue. The word jurisdiction, people, means opinion. Don't use the word jurisdiction. Why do you think you have a jury? A jury, J-U means no law, and R-Y is contract. It's a no law contract. The word judge sits on a plane different than yours. Even in tribal law, whether it be the witch doctor is the judge, the king of a tribe, anywhere on the planet, a president, a dictator, they all stand on a plane to break the continuance of evidence as an actor on a stage, talking babble in adverb-verb language. Therefore, you go into an auditorium, you see a person on a stage, they are under contract to perform, you buy a ticket, which is a contract of your opinion. Your opinion is on stages. Your stages, here's the plane of the stage, and then you have your seating going up. This breaks the continuance of evidence with the stage, and you are only witnesses or opinion entities watching actors on a stage, no different in the courtroom.
So the only way to engage and have your rights or whatever you're trying to do...
Engage means no contract, I-N-G.
To gauge when you go in there.
And that's a correct word. You do gauge a situation. Gauging means to analyze, to look at the knowledge of your environment. You're gauging the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. You're gauging the conduct of what the actors are, ACT, no contract people, because they write everything in the courtroom is in an illusion. And I'm going to put a courtroom up here in a minute and show you the tricks and the traps that are going to happen inside that.
So when I go to file a document, or a doc.
No, it's a document.
Okay. Do I put my stamp on that document?
Yes, and you sign it, making you the postmaster and
then they stamp
postmaster, banker, and judge authorized to transport the vessel from the street into the vessel in dry dock. You send before you walk into the courthouse to dock your vessel, you mail it registered mail to yourself. Your vessel has now been registered with the post office, which is controlled of the port authorities, which license the courthouse to dock its vessel on planet Earth. In the event that you are the postmaster now signing the stamp to carry the document into the courthouse, you are the letter carrier and postmaster authorized to transport the vessel to the clerk's office, and you can't be arrested as a letter carrier delivering the mail to the courthouse, even though it's a foreign vessel in dry dock, because you're already the post office, which controls the port authorities, which docks the vessel. So you have a higher authority. You're like the senior judge of the courthouse. Little secrets.
Then they still stamp that document?
Yes, and when they stamp it, they make contract. Absolutely. I sign every federal district court stamp. I sign over the top of it, capturing.
So I ask for it back
Absolutely. You sign all yours and say, they all have to be conformed. Give me that back. I'm going to sign my name over your stamp, and you sign your name too, clerk.
And you usually have to have 5 copies. So do I send 5 copies?
Actually, 7. They get 2. You keep the rest, 5 back.
Okay, so I mail 7 copies to myself?
No, just the one.
Just the one?
Just to get the serial number. That's all you want. It's a registered serial number.
Okay. But then how do I have a copy or...
You keep the registered serial number. You're going to mail it to yourself. You keep the envelope.
Okay, got it.
Okay? If you have one copy that's sealed inside there, it's always sealed inside there. If it ever comes to a...
I'm not jumping the gun, but are you going to just go through all of
Yes, I'm going to go through all the procedures on it. Yes.
She told me that she can't let me have the document back once she stamped it.
All of them are stamped, and if you sign the others in front of her, they all have to be conformed. If her copy is not conformed, then she has an illegal copy. She doesn't have an original. If you sign across their stamp, you have the original. She has to take possession of that.
But she said, I cannot give you this document once I've stamped it.
No, that's because they don't want you to be legal and become the chief judge of the courthouse so that you're in charge. You become the chief judge of the courthouse when you do that.
So if they don't give it back, how do you respond?
Oh, I always get it back. I says, I'm the federal judge in this courthouse. I have my oath on file. You better give me that court back. This is under Title 15. Which one is that? That's Title 46, Section 9,
I just tell them I'm a judge?
946. Well, I have a 17-year running position. Everybody knows me already.
So how do I do that?
Oh, if you sign, as she hands you back the documents, you sign all of them. And if she knows what she's doing, she'll give you back their copies so they're all conformed.
Right. So
Because when you say to her,
and she doesn't give me hers, then she is
illegal.
illegal.
Right. You're saying, you know what? I have originals here signed. I says, now how are you going to explain to your boss that you don't have a signed original copy and you only have a half the position done? You didn't follow your duties.
And that's what I'm wondering is the enforcement.
Now, under Title 18, Section 641, folks, misappropriations. Title 18, 641, misappropriations. That means you took a paycheck and you didn't do your job. That's misappropriation for not doing your job. That's a 10-year, $10,000 fine, a $9,000 fine, and 12 years in prison under another title slide of the same. Comes under 946 instead of 941.
What was the title number?
Title 18, 641 through 665 is the misappropriations rules. You can pull it up on the internet and go through the whole thing. Yes.
So does that mean when we took for the mortgage fraud, the ones that we filed at the district court in South Bend, when we gave them the copies to file stamp them, we gave those to have them all file stamped and have the case number stamped on them.
Correct.
And then we took ours back and they kept theirs.
Correct.
So, was that correct, or was
No, they have their 2 copies, you have your 5, but in front of them you sign or autograph your name across their stamp. And when you autograph your name across their stamp, they have to give you back those 2 to autograph also. Otherwise, they're not in conformity. And that makes you in contract with that building, with that vessel being docked. And when she gives you a receipt for your money filing, you also sign that receipt. You sign your name across the registered mail sticker. You sign your name across the money sticker that's put on your registered mail. You sign your name across the stamp. Anything the post office gives you, you sign your name, autograph your name across it. Not sign, but autograph across that stamp. And if it ever comes to push and shove where you got to walk into court going, I'm a federal judge, I'm federal postmaster, I've signed my documents. I have the physical evidence in my possession that goes with this. This was docked at the post office before it was ported with the port authorities. The post office has jurisdiction over the port authorities. And so therefore you haven't filed protocols. In my lawsuits that I file with you as your mortgages, identify the clerk of the court on the 48th day as the federal judge of that lawsuit, because she's required or he's required, the clerk of the court is required to autograph her name or his name on that stamp as the postmaster receiving a vessel in dry dock. That's protocol. If they skip over that procedure, they're guilty of misappropriations. And you can go to jail for 12 years. And you can have, when you download the laws on this, you take it in with them under misappropriations, and you present that to them saying, here, read this. See what this says? Now do exactly as I tell you. If you got a problem, you get your supervisor. You got a problem with that, you get the chief judge. You got a problem with that, call John Roberts at the United States Supreme Court. You got a federal judge here, chief federal judge can call the United States Supreme Court John Roberts. You can call Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Now he's Bill's counsel. So I'm killing flies in windows, glass windows with 20-pound sledgehammers, and I'm not breaking the glass. And so they come to me and they're going like, we're not going to obey this. We're not going to do this. I'm going like, you want to go to jail for 12 years? Feel lucky today? And he says, I'm the last man you want to go ahead and play games with.
Right, but you can do it, but
Why? If you follow the procedures, you can do it too. It's all about conviction. It's all about being cool and collective. course, I have an advantage of you guys because I don't have adrenal glands, so I don't have the jack high, jack low. Me, I'm just Data. I'm a Spock. Since Star Trek came out, everyone's called me Data and Spock. Yes.
On your autograph, is it printed or can cursive be?
No. Always print it. Print it.
Okay.
Yes. And when I did that in school, they cracked my knuckles and said, "You will not write that way. We're going to force you to be in fiction."
Cursive writing in school.
Say again?
They're taking cursive writing out of the public schools. Did you know that?
They're taking it out because of this program. Yes, I've been suing, and the teachers are going, "This is correct. We're wrong." And they're changing, this program is changing all languages on the planet. You can't move forward. You see, on January 6, 2012, there was a little glitch that took place. The Hubble telescope took a picture, and the picture showed 3 more of these spacecrafts in Greenland headed this way, which will be here on 12/21/2012. For those of you that watch TV, there's a new TV show with no electricity. You know why? Because when you put up here's Earth, and you put a quadrihedron with Earth in the middle, you've got line of sight, 4 spacecrafts the size of Lake Michigan. They have put a dampening field over the planet and shut down electricity. What do you think is going to happen in a world that runs on computers and electricity without electricity? We go back to 1880 overnight. How do you get the food to the populated areas? You don't. Huh? How do you farm your farmlands without tractors? How do you harvest your crops? How do you run your canning facilities? How does 8 billion people get food when there's no way to get it, move it from point A to point B outside of whatever you're capable of growing in your own garden or being able to can because you have a stove, a wood-burning stove that you can can with, because you know the principles of canning. I do. I know the survival issues. I know how to make water out of thin air with nothing but a sheet of plastic. Dig a hole in the ground, put a sheet of plastic, pour dirt around it, and overnight it'll make a gallon of fresh dew water, which comes out of the ground 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, indefinitely. And you just run a little hose out, and you can pump it out of there all day long, fresh water, and have all the fresh water you need. As pure it can get, evaporating out of the earth from underwater, from the cistine. How to make fresh water, how to do food, how to do canning, how to live without electricity. I've been there. I know how to do it. I always tell people, if there's ever any kind of an emergency, the place you want to be is in my back door, because I know how to stay alive. Well, what's nice is I got Lake Michigan only walking distance from my house, and that's a big lake, I got my own boat, had my own boat building business for 8 years until the oil embargo took place in '73. Put 80% of all boat building companies out of business. Everybody copy that already?
So what's going to happen December 23rd?
It'll be the first day of winter. And remember, if the world doesn't end on December 21st, make sure your 401k is paid up on December 22nd. Okay, we're going to go next to the courtroom.
I missed that. What was that about the 401k?
I said, if the world doesn't end on December 21st, 2012, make sure your 401k is paid up on December 22nd. All the calendars written in the history of mankind, going all the way back to the beginning of writing, all end on 12/21/2012. That's the end of the world of verb. That's what it means. And the day the world kicks in the gear and goes to quantum. With 5 billion people studying out of 8 billion, that's all the computers on the planet. Obama wants to push this through. The Chinese are pushing it with 150 trade partners. I believe that there's going to be some kind of an announcement maybe on that day that you're going to turn on the TV, get on the internet, and there's only going to be one thing you're going to see. My program, study, you got so many days before we're going to switch gears and the world's going to change into quantum. Simple as that. So, that's just my opinion. What's that? Oh, by the way, if they put the dampening field up, batteries don't work, electricity doesn't work, solar doesn't work, wind doesn't work. The electron does not move.
Where's the dampening effect coming from?
Dampening field is an EM field. Just like an EM pulse will take out electrical circuitry, closed circuit information.
Okay.
The program on what a dampening field does, it stops electricity for electrons from moving.
Executing that.
What would that?
Who would be executing that dampening field? What's that come from?
The four UFO spaceships in a quadrahedron, which is a four-sided triangle with Earth in the middle of it, line of sight.
What's the source of them? Why are they doing that? Where's that coming from?
Well, they were here 50,000 years ago, so they created the last ice age. Now, the people that leave that spacecraft, like if you go from Greenland, Washington Monument, Yucatan Peninsula, and Easter Island, it's a straight line. They're on straight lines in nature. If you go from the Lexer Pyramid through Memphis, Tennessee Pyramid, it intersects as a straight line with the Lexer Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. A sphinx, a pyramid, an obelisk. A sphinx, a pyramid, an obelisk. A sphinx, a pyramid, an obelisk. If you have time, you got the Vatican. No. You got Egypt, the pyramids. This is North Pole, by the way. You've got the Vatican, Greece, at the Acropolis, where there's a obelisk. Obelisk at the Acropolis. Vatican Square. Vatican is a clock, a seasonal clock with a obelisk in the middle of it at St. Peter's. You go to Paris, which is the church built in 300 AD. Paris was the center of the church, Catholic Church, in 300 AD. From there, you go to the to London at the Masonic Temple, where they have the rose line and the obelisk, the glass pyramid. You go from there to Washington, D.C., where you have an obelisk, and you end up in Las Vegas, Nevada.